Ciao friends! F1 might be on summer break right now, but that doesn't mean there's no racing to look forward to. This weekend, in fact, is the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Now, I'm going to assume in this video that you're an F1 fan but haven't really seen any endurance racing before. So, let me fill you in on all of the details, especially the ones you might be interested in coming from the world of Formula 1. The 24 Hours of Le Mans is the most prestigious endurance race in the world, and is the crown jewel of the World Endurance Championship. Run generally in June, but this year, and indeed last year, run in August because of the event. It is, as the name suggests, a 24-hour-long race, held at the Circuit de la Sarthe near Le Mans in France. The circuit is over 13.5 kilometers long, and is comprised of partially permanent circuits and partially public roads. Because it's a 24-hour event, obviously one driver can't do the entire thing, so each team runs 3, swapping them out at pit stops. As a round of the World Endurance Championship, there are 4 classes taking part, and as such, it's a lot more of a team game. It's quite strategic and takes a while to play out, but that doesn't mean there's any shortage of on-track action, partially because the skill level is so high, but also because the World Endurance Championship, like many endurance championships, is a multi-class event. As of this year, they run 4 different classes: Le Mans Hypercar, or LMH, Le Mans Prototype 2, or LMP2, GTE Pro, and GTE Am. Hypercar is a new class for this year, and is the most similar to what you'd find in Formula 1. Each chassis is custom built, usually by some kind of road car manufacturer, and there's a lot more freedom in what the cars look like, their aero packages, and what powertrain they run, some opting to use hybrids, some just raw V8 power. Currently that's 2 Toyotas, 2 Glickenhauses, and an Alpine. That Alpine is not technically a hypercar, it's actually an old LMP1 car that's just been grandfathered in. LMP2 is more where you find the privateer teams, as the cars there have to be bought from one of 4 manufacturers, although only one of those manufacturers is actually any good right now, so all bar 2 of them are made by Oreca. That field though has 25 different entries, so it's a lot more competitive. And this year, given that the LMHs are a little bit slow compared to the LMP1s, there's actually a chance that the LMP2s could win this race overall, if some disasters strike the top 5. Then below them we have 2 different classes of GTE. GTE on the surface is a bit like GT3, faster with a little bit more aero and a fewer driver assists, also it costs significantly more money. That's split up into 2 categories, Pro and Am. Pro is usually where you find factory entries, it's all professional driver lineups. Amateur, they have to run at least 1 amateur driver, someone that hasn't held a racing license before in their life. There's some limits on that, I won't get into the specifics though. These used to be called gentleman drivers, but obviously that term is a little bit outdated now. These are generally people who've done well in their business, so they can afford to buy one of these seats and have a go at Le Mans. The nature of endurance is a little bit different to F1, just due to the length mainly. Firstly, because this is a 24-hour race, a lot of it will be at night, and because it's in August, that night is longer than it is usually as well. With darkness obviously comes a little bit more danger, so drivers tend to be a little bit more cautious then. And another difference is that because the race is so long, if something goes wrong, oftentimes teams try and limp the car back to the garage and then spend a while fixing it, because you can still get a pretty decent finish if worse things go wrong for other teams. And because it is so long, you can often find yourself laps ahead of other cars, even on a circuit as long as this one. But if you're a Formula 1 fan, let's talk about the people involved that you might recognise the names of. Firstly, of course, there is Alpine. They just won their first race in Formula 1. Maybe they can win their first race in WEC as well. And what a race it would be to win. Toyota are definitely the favourites though. They have Kamui Kobayashi and Jose Maria Lopez in one of their cars alongside Mike Conway. Their other car is actually an entirely ex-Formula 1 driver lineup, in Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley and Kazuki Nakajima. Tatiana Calderon is in the all-women Richard Mille team in LMP2. Juan Pablo Montoya is driving for Dragon Speed. Paul di Resta and Alex Lynn are driving one of the United Autosports cars in LMP2 as well. Roberto Meri and the brand new Formula E champion Nick de Vries are in separate G-Drive rides. Stoffel Vandoorne and Sean Gelael share a Jota ride together. Ferdinand Habsburg and Robin Freins are in the Team WRT car. Alex Brundle has a ride in the Inter Europol. Anthony Davidson and Antonio Felix da Costa have a ride in the other Jota car. Louis Delatraz and Robert Kubica are in the other Team WRT car. Kevin Magnussen and his dad Jan Magnussen are in the high class. And Felipe Nasser makes an appearance in the Risi Competizione car. GTE Pro is full of names that if you're a Formula E fan you're going to recognise. James Collado, Sam Bird, Alex Sims, and Neil Jani. And in GTE Am we have Giancarlo Fisichella, not to mention Callum Ilott, each in different AF Corsa rides. And of course there are dozens of other drivers with incredible talent from other series, including WEC itself, obviously, that I decided not to include just so I could focus on mostly Formula 1 and its feeder series, and quick mention to Formula E there as well. So the race itself starts this Saturday. That's the 21st of August 2021. If you're watching this next year, I'm surprised you got this far considering it's not particularly relevant, but check the dates yourself. This might be back in June because that's usually when it is. And it's scheduled to start at 4 PM in France, which is 3 PM in the UK. I'll leave you to do your own time conversions if you're anywhere else. I know I do have viewers in the US and India notably, but most of you are in Europe, so covered those two bases at least. But go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Have you watched Le Mans before? Is this your first time? Tell me what you think once it's all over. Come back and drop me a comment then. Or we can discuss it on the 2Sextet Discord server, which I believe is linked down in the description, although I actually haven't checked that. We're well over 550 subscribers now, so thank you all so very much. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing down below. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it, I don't know if you hated it, I don't care. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time.